Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 8th of July 2024 and it's 11:17 a.m. and I'm awake and I'm happening and I'm far away. I've got a very sore, raspy throat, which I blame on the CPAP device because last night was the fourth night and I've been waiting for the shoe to fall because it always feckin' falls, but it's just here, a bit of raspiness. Hopefully it'll resolve as the day goes on. My body does not like invasions of any kind, even if it's life-affirming and beneficial at times, or life-giving in the case of never mind. I wax poetic. Yes, breathe, Tanya, breathe. Since you don't like breathing in your sleep, baby girl, because you're chasing le petit mort, the death, the practice for death, for eternity. You've been chasing that for a long, long time, since birth actually, to be fair. It's because your mother kept trying to kill you, by the way. But anyway, we won't wallow in that consciousness. We will not wallow in that consciousness. Yes, the life-affirming gift of breath, the breath of life, literally the breath of God. So I stand before the Eternal One in great humility, but also my usual tribal stomping Tanya tantrums, because it's just awful that I have to endure this just so I can sleep at night. It's beyond awful, but I had a bad night last night with my bladder. I was back to my normal 3 times a night, which was still not too bad because it was 4 to 6 or even 20 on some nights. So it's still a slight improvement, but I was disappointed because I'd had a couple of nights probably with my body going to shock, having my airways held open and getting extra air during my sleep states, that I didn't pee quite as much as I normally do, and now my bitchin' bladder is back with a vengeance. But hopefully it was just an off night, and I may even strive to cut back on the tea a bit today. It's probably a contributing factor. This is my second cup of tea this morning, so that I think that will be it for the rest of the day, because I don't feel well, my darlings. I don't feel well. But there's nothing new in that. I haven't felt well, and there's been a few bright sparks of emanation like what happened on Friday night. But overall, I haven't felt all that well for, decades. So when you see me dancing in full vibrancy and my full glory, that is the epitome of every energy and every cell coming online and lighting up and being joyous, because that too is a manifestation of the breath of God, and I need that. I need more vivacity and vibrancy and joy and truest, deepest, most loyal, devoted, faithful, available passionate, romantic love in the form of the one, not the many. The gods keep trying to send me the many, and it's all very sweet, but I don't want the many. I'm not a polyamorist. I'm not a plaything or a toy or a pet or a puppet, well, I kind of am a pauper, but shh. That's a cosmic joke the gods cast upon me for some weird, fecked up ancestral fucking vow made by one of my Catholic forebears, no doubt. Well, anyway, I revoke all vows of poverty and chastity, and I have done that for quite some years actually, yet I remain chaste and impoverished. So What the actual fuck? But anyway, you have to laugh. I'm blushing. You have to laugh. Well, I'm not so chaste these days. I'm exercising my femme fatale allure and just seeing who lights up around me and who is authentic and genuine, and it's all very sweet and lovely, and I'm enjoying my beautiful friends, and they light up around me, my male friends, and I'm like, oh, Mama T, the Tanya is back, babies, even though she hasn't reignited her sexuality yet, because I'm waiting for the one. And let's be fair, as I say in all my videos, maybe waiting for the one for the rest of this incarnation at the very least. I was about to say for eternity, but I hope not. I hope not. Unless I reincarnate as some sort of creature that doesn't need intimacy or, cuddles or affection or sex or to procreate, I could be, as I always used to joke, I could come back as a quietly osmosing amoeba, but then parts of me have been quietly amoebic osmosing for decades, and I can take great delight in my own body, mind and spirit, and find pleasure in it from time to time. Yes, I know what you men are thinking, and you would be right on that score. From time to time, self-pleasuring is sometimes the only way to survive when you're surrounded by lackluster, weak, inept, spiteful, dangerous, life-threatening curs who couldn't even give you the gift of an orgasm. That's how useless they actually were in real terms. However, there have been, on rare occasions, very rare occasions, in my life, wonderful lovers who were generous of spirit and mind as well as of their body, and actually cared about me enough as a sexual partner, as a lover, as another body, to make sure that I enjoyed the gift of their passionate, romantic, sexual administrations. I said that for a reason, people of Earth. Because it was almost clinical at times. But however, some of them followed through and made sure that it was all very, very pleasant. So I wasn't completely put off the male gender for the rest of eternity, although it's touch and go sometimes. It's touch and go. However, Mama T is back in the room, and I have to say, I have beautiful men surrounding me at the moment, and they look at me with such awe and respect and admiration, and sometimes a little bit of sauciness that even I find myself getting a little bit excited and delighted, because apart from the fact that I'm a witch and a shaman and a Jew and a Viking and a warrior goddess, and I had to tamp down my sexuality for decades on and off throughout the last 59 years. Well, some of that's because I was actually a child, but anyway, I had to tamp it down. When I open it up, babies, it is a force of nature and a gift from my own innate spirit and soul, and it must be valued, appreciated, cherished, delighted in, and adored. Why would I gift it to anyone otherwise? Something that I have kept almost like a holy grail, almost like a chalice, almost like a cup that was sealed and will only be sucked from by a man worthy of my love and delight and passion. Anyway, that's been the plan for the last 10 years, and approximately 6 of those years I had completely blocked everything, shut everything down even tighter. The cup was within a cup, was within a cup, was within a cup. But we've unfurled a little bit since then. We've released a little bit. The little stamens of this most delicate, precious flower are starting to send out messages into the ether of hello, we're here, we have not died, we're coming back to full vibrancy again. Don't fear us, although we've been contained for a very long time. We've percolated and we've matured and we've blossomed and decayed and blossomed and decayed. But this is the renaissance of the Tanya, the last fucking hurrah. To get it right, am I right? And all the young ones are going, why is she going on like that? She's old. Like, why doesn't she just crawl away and die? Who's worried about sexuality when they're like pushing 60 and they're old and, ooh, old people and wrinkles? And I get it. I used to think like that too. I admit, youth's wasted on the young. Things they don't tell you, young ones, is you have the first flush, the first blooming of your sexuality, that if it's not stymied and destroyed by abusers like I was, you get to emanate and emanate and emanate in the fullness of your youth and enjoy your passion and your gorgeous biology. And you get to procreate and have your babies, and that knocks you off your socks for quite some time, depending on the partner that you've married or cohabited with. If you have a loving, supportive partner who's a wonderful parent and supports you, then you have a happy, wonderful, loving life. But if you have a dead shit that's unsupportive and, well, it all goes to hell in a handbasket, quite frankly. Having children is a great risk to any relationship, even a particularly good one. But you must go forth and multiply, because that is the biological imperative of our species. Unless for some reason, no fault of your own, that you are unable to bear children, or you have a low sperm count or something that's extremely unfair, but it's just the way that the gifts that God's handed you, then there are other ways of bearing fruits. Bear the fruits of your creativity, bear the fruits of your love, adopt children, foster children, be kind to your friends' children, support, be godparents. Not like my feckin' godfather, though, he was a sexual predator, but, just be a loving guide and inspiration to some younger person. Otherwise, you're missing out on a very crucial developmental role of every human being, even animal and bird on this planet, which is to guide and inspire and educate and provide for and help a new life come into their own fullness and blossoming, so that they in turn may provide that gift of their soul, of their body, mind and spirit to their young when their time comes, at the appropriate time, whenever the gods decree. So anyway, I'm all about the emanations, the absolute of God, the sending out constant creativity and new beginnings and new emanations. Even though It's been many, many years since I was a parent of young children, and that time was tainted and damaged for me actually by my family of origin, my husband. It was really quite awful how I was treated. But anyway, I got through it. My kids got through it, surprisingly, and we all got through it. And I've been robbed of any hope of progeny of grandchildren or great-grandchildren, for which I'm very, very fucking livid. But again, no fault of my own. It's a byproduct of our society, our current paradigm. And so I, I take delight in my little ones, and my little friends in the neighbourhood who I haven't seen for quite some time actually. It's probably why I'm feeling a little bit fraught, because it's nice for us older ones, wise ones, especially those of us who are denied our own progeny, to be surrounded by the very young and read them stories or brush their hair or tell them outrageous, funny anecdotes from our lives, and just be a presence of an older, wise one, an elder in their lives. So anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is, people of Earth. I'm paying very hefty prices for things that were actually not my doing and not my fault, and I have to let go of that resentment because it benefits no one, including me. It just makes me ill, and I can't change anything, but I fought hard against it from the very beginning. It's a beautiful day outside. It was very bleak and kind of grey and awful this morning, but the sun's come out a little bit. It's lots of cloud cover and there's little patches of blue, and I might actually go and get Charlie because I don't want to leave her alone. We'll go and get Charlie, shall we? She was so funny yesterday, wasn't she? Hanging upside down. You see, I don't have children or grandchildren anymore, but I have Charlie. Say hello to the people, Charlie. Come on, let's go. You got food all over your beak. Have you been having a lovely time, actually? Are you happy to be with Mama, or did you really want to keep eating your food? I don't know. I don't want to impose on your will, Charlie. Oh, that was a massive one. Perfect timing. She's a massive cricketins in the sink, which is good because she won't do it next to my desk chair, will she? Right, here we go, Charlie. I've got a very, very unpleasant scratchy throat and I don't like it. I worry that I'm getting sick because when I get bronchitis, it starts with a scratchy throat. And I don't want to be sick yet again. I've just recovered not long ago I can't remember what the last thing I recovered from was, but I'm wrung out. I'm wrung out from all this, people of Earth. I really am. The only reason I'm fighting to stay alive at this current point in time is because I want the love that was long denied me since early infancy. I want it now. I wanted it yesterday. I wanted it 59 years ago. Mum is holding on for the dream, the great psychedelic dream, Charlie. She says, don't worry, Mama T, I love you no matter what, even though you're a bit funny sometimes. I'm going to the hairdresser tomorrow and I'm looking forward to that. I feel grotty. I feel a bit grotty. Yes, give me a kiss. Oh no, not with goop all over your beak. Change my mind. I don't want to eat your goopy, beaky stuff. No, I don't. Can you see yourself, Charlie? Look at that. There's a birdie there. Look. That weird little bird. Who's that weird little bird? With a weird little short fat hobbit, Mama T. I know. So here we go. I'm going to continue my readings of Even Date. Haven't done a preview, so Don't know how long it is or how intense it's going to be. It says here it's a 30-minute read, so it'll be fairly thick and intense, I suppose. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, I'm going to take a deep breath. Ready? Gratitude to the gods and the Fae and all that is, was, and ever shall be. Creator of little rainbow lorikeet birdie num-nums and all of humanity and all sentient beings. Here we go, little one. Here we go, another day in paradise. From choking, oh, isn't it interesting? I was kind of got this choking feeling today. Synchronicities, people. Pay attention to synchronicities. From choking pussy willows to the passing of my much beloved pussy. It's a weird, often painful life, but onwards we travel, always hoping for a soft, gracious landing. Now don't bite his that, Charlie. Here's a photo. They're not quite the same as our traditional pussy willows that we have in New Zealand, which are rounder and fluffier, but close enough. Close enough, I guess. I couldn't find a photo of the pussy willows as I remember them from my childhood, so that had to do. This is kind of the plant that I did indeed choke on though, so it's kind of funny when you think about it. 8th of July 2023. Oh, you sweet little baby. I know. I just so love you. I'm glad you didn't die the other day when you looked like you were a bit crook on it. I was like, oh dear goddess, not my little baby bird. But here she is with her mother fighting on another day. Just keep fighting, Charlie. I'll fight for you and you fight for me, and we'll carry on being awesome, Charlie. Right, here we go. Last night was very spiritual and kind of interesting. I hung out with my homeless friends last night. George asked me to give him a lift home. He's not homeless, obviously, if I was giving him a lift home. One of the young very often, the homeless people aren't all that homeless either. Some of them do actually have homes, but they just live so wild and free and panhandle, beg and make a bit of money that way. And a lot of them are very unwell mentally, so they have places to go, but they choose to be out in the streets on the weekends. It is what it is. I don't judge. There but for the grace of God, nearly went I. Dropping all your feathers, Charlie, your new feathers that are popping out. As fast as you're popping them out, you're pulling them out, mad bird. It's a bit mad, Charlie. I know. Yes, I know. Just going to do another poop. That's another big one too. That's a lot. You just did one in the sink. Gross, Charlie. All right, listen, you're distracting me from the poo with all the pooing. Do that again and you'll have to go back in your cage because I'm trying to get serious here, Charlie. Yes, it's big business in Little Holland Park. I wish. One of the young homeless people whom I sat and chatted with had smashed up that's George's, $1,000 guitar. So naturally he was quite upset. I said, I don't take sides, but it was awful that had happened, so I'm happy to give him a lift home. I would have given him a lift home anyway. I used to do that occasionally. I used to hang out with him at the end of the night. He gifted me a block of caramello chocolate as, as a reward for taking him home, which was very kind. I asked Katrina where the ring was that I gave her a few months ago. Still annoyed about that, to be honest. She told me that another homeless man named Wolfman had wanted it, so she gave it to him. My eyes flickered with a brief rage. I knew that would be the outcome. I told her that I had specifically blessed that ring for her, so him stealing my mojo will do him no good at all. I told her that if I meet him, I will demand he returns the ring, as it was not meant for anyone but her. She smiled nonchalantly. Possessions mean nothing to homeless people, but she demanded for months and months, about 6 months, she demanded that I make her a ring. And then when I finally made one and gifted her one, threw it away to the first man that asked for it. Oh well, oh darling. The things we do for love, the things we do for love. A quick roll of hay or a cigarette or whatever it was that she decided to gift him that ring for. I hope it was worth it, because I'm still pissed off to this day. Don't dishonour my gifts or the magic that I give you along with the gift. By the gods. It's no wonder I'm dying. All these people stealing my energy and just tossing it away like dreck, and then it's just gifted to people who are maybe not very nice people and are just shitful, and then I'm left with that blowback, am I right? So no more, I won't be giving any more magically infused gifts to people that are dishonouring of me. No, they can just feckin' fuck off or die for all I care. I'm done. I'm done trying to do kind things for people that dishonour and disrespect me. I'm not frickin' Jesus. That's not my religion, and it's not my job to fix everybody, by the way, especially when they do that. I'm very annoyed to this day. I haven't even bothered to go and see her since that time, really. I thought, oh, you know what? Another false friend. I poured so much energy into that woman. I know she was a crazy woman out in the streets. Sometimes she smelled. Sometimes she was completely obliterated with alcohol, not even conscious. But I always took my time to spend time with her, and I deemed her a friend. And then she did that to me. Well, 2020 right up to 2024 showed me a lot, taught me a lot. Who were my real friends, who value and cherish and appreciate me, who are happy to spend an evening in my company or have me in, in the club dancing for their bands. Those are the people I'm investing energy into now. People that actually, care about and respect me and admire me, my contributions of my gifts, which are not sterling silver spoon rings, but my energy and my time and my deep agape love for them all. I'm not wasting my energy on people who are false anymore, is what I'm saying. As soon as I identify that, bing, bang, boom, gone. Not in a negative or destructive way, but I will just be removing myself from their sphere of influence, or removing myself from gifting my precious energy to any entities that are cruel or spiteful, vindictive, or just disrespecting of my time and space and energy. The highest magic of all on this planet is having dignity and self-love, so you can open up and love and give love to people who receive it with great joy, and if not great joy, at least equanimity, and who don't dishonour you. so that they can go forward and give their love to someone. I suppose Katrina thought it was an act of love to give the ring she demanded from me to some strange man. Perhaps for her it was an act of love, and maybe I'm wrong to be annoyed about it. But it's just that I've had a long history of giving gifts to people and then having them thrown back in my face. Exhibit A, Queen Titania Fairy, who was also demanded and given and then thrown back at me. Not nice behaviours to do that to the Tanya. So lessons were learned and they will not be repeated. Not by choice anyway. Anyway, where was I? Note to self, don't give away my jewellery or art to people who don't cherish it, for fuck's sake. I didn't remain angry for very long. No point in that. She had asked for a ring from me. I had eventually supplied her with one. Then she had discarded it so easily. It reminds me of the lady and the snake story. Someone will always take advantage of my generosity or small kindnesses, then bite me in the eyeball, leaching poison for eons. But Katrina is not malicious. Here's me giving her a benefit of the doubt, people. And is easily taken advantage of by men on the streets. Her vulnerability is equally her feminine power and mystique. The ring was a test of my loyalty and integrity, but it's gone now, blessing a wolf man. The irony not lost on me as my spirit guide is indeed a fierce, salivating, growling wolf on occasions when I need protection. Like cures like, yes. The young homeless man, I'm going to highlight that because I need to fix that. And there was another typo earlier that I need to fix, which I no longer remember where that was. So I'll have to, oh yes, here it is. I'll highlight that. Can't have these. Just, it's not, noblesse oblige. My French professor from first year of university when I was 17 would be screaming at me now going, noblesse oblige! I can't believe you published that with typos. Neither can I. I don't remember there being typos there before, but I must have missed them. Indeed I must have. Indeed I must have. Anyway, I have to remember where they are because the highlight doesn't stay when I scroll down, damn it. Mama T is grinding her own gears. Can you tell? Perfectionism is a thing. Trauma survivors. We overcompensate. We overwork to the point of exhaustion. And we often are perfectionists, which is kind of weird since, striving for perfection can be very disabling, actually. Anyway, here I continue, not choosing to be disabled today. The young homeless man told me he knows Wolfman. When I lamented about it, I said, tell him my magic is not for just anyone, so he needs to return that ring to Katrina. I am livid. He nodded. I love how they indulge me in my weird spiritual furies. But if she yielded the ring so easily, then it was of no value to her. So there is that. The fury gets buried deep and I rise above it. my gifts spoiled and despoiled or thrown away or burned, dishonouring and invalidating. It's why I learned to be rather stingy in recent years. Don't turn me into a stingy, fucking, miserly asshole because of your nastiness and abuse dynamics and mentalities. Oh, dear goddess. It's a lot of poops today, Charlie. No use pissing against a wall, acquiring only perspicacious splashback. Am I right? I do love Katrina, though. I do love her. We were friends. We have been friends. If I see her again, we'll be friends again for a very long time. You know, dancing out the casino there for 12, 13 years. So we were friends a long time. I wish her well. Lucidly, she tells me last night that she has been inside my bedroom with my four-poster bed. It's lovely. I had shown her a photo of my dog and she saw my legs and the four-poster. I nodded. I do have a lovely bed. A bed I fought for in a 2.5-year will dispute. I do have a roof over my head, albeit a government house, so I will likely never own my own home again. 20 years in this house now. Try 21. Time marches on. Subsisting on a disability pension. But I am rebuilding my life by making jewellery. It brings hope and happiness. It's something to aspire to. Success. I made these little mother and pearl beads, and I made this. I was trying to explain to you about the Aussie spoon with the opal that came up in my memories yesterday. Yes, it all needs a good polishing. Yes, it does. I have to do it by hand because you can't put opals in ultrasonic or pearls in the ultrasonic cleaner, so it's going to be a big job polishing by hand and trying to clean all the polish off because I can't use the ultrasonic. And anyway, this is a job that still needs to be completed. Success to a homeless woman is a four-poster bed that no man can abide in because of my mojo laughing my ass off. I used to have, even my boyfriend of 5 years, you know, we were together. I used to have lovers that would, come over and fuck me, basically. We'd fuck each other, to be fair, because we were, at that point in time, lovers. But then, this is kind of funny, people, but not. As soon as the little birdie's outside, 5 a.m, 6 a.m, went, tweet, 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 tweet. On would go their trousers and they'd run out into the morning. Couldn't wait to get the hell out of my house. Leave my energy, dishonour my gifts of lovemaking by abandoning me with the first call of dawn. Oh! I mean, look, I used to kind of laugh about it. I used to think, you motherfuckers, you're just using me, really. They were really just using me. This is why I dream of a man who loves me so much and so heartfelt, so genuine, and isn't intimidated by my quirky artistic decor in my bedroom or in the rest of my house, and doesn't say to me like Dave did, I'll never set foot in your house again because it's like Grandma's house. Doesn't disrespect my home and my energy, my safe haven, my sacred space, or the other sacred space, my vagina, and actually wants to hang around with me for longer than a few hours in the night until the sun comes up. Like with vampires, they dissipated into the day. I sometimes used to think, why don't you just fucking fry, motherfuckers? Like real vampires, just go psh, and disappear. But they did disappear from my life eventually, you know. Courtney lasted 5 years. I must have had something to offer him for 5 years. Wonder what that might have been. Putting up with his drugging and his filthy fucking dishonouring friends. Oh well. I still remember when his friend Pedro, who was my friend Gail's lover, long-term lover, came to visit, and Pedro's Serbian background, so, you know, he has that ethnicity, that Eastern European, Slavic, you know, understanding of art, am I right? And I saw it, Pedro, who's very, very tall, very, very frightening to the uninitiated, almost 7 foot tall, wild man, often quite crazy at times too. But Pedro came to visit this time, and I'm trying to remember the reason why he came to visit. He came to ask me to help him put his bed together. He'd bought a new bed. But why was he at my house to ask me that? Anyway, he came to, it was completely, you know, respectful and kosher, nothing weird, people, nothing ever weird, you know. He was my friend's lover, like, nothing weird between us. But we were fond of each other, very fond of each other. Anyway, he came to my home, and he stood, my bedroom door was open, because such a tiny house, I don't shut the doors usually, because I don't like feeling trapped or hemmed in. And he stood in my bedroom door, I'll never forget it, Predrag. Stood on my bedroom door, and this is what he did. He just went, wow, looking at all my decorations around my bed. In those days, I had even more little funny little decorations. Like I had these little beanie babies that were couples, like Arthur and Guinevere, and what was the other one? The other couple. Can't remember now. And then I had another beanie baby that was in the shape of an Aries, you know, and I had them all decorating. I might put them back up now, actually. Why not? Why the fuck not? But anyway, it was a little bit too much visual stimulation, all these little commentaries on love and what I was trying to manifest a couple, so I could be part of a couple, which never manifested in real terms. But anyway, that's why I think that's why I gave up on it, because what's the point? It's just nonsensical and it's too much clutter and blah blah blah. But anyway, Pedro says my room, my beautiful artistic bedroom. And he says, wow, this is the most amazing bedroom I have ever seen in my life. And I said, what do you mean, Pedro? Knowing full well what he meant. He says, oh, you've got everything. You've got all this story happening, and it's just, he got it. He was intelligent. I looked at Pedro, I said, I never knew you were intelligent, Pedro. You always act like some kind of evacuated out kind of bikey thug. And he went, oh no, I was top of my class at high school. I was very intelligent. I've done a lot of drugs though, Tanya. But anyway, he was bright. And I was like, Pedro, I said to him, if you weren't my friend Gail's man, and now I've discovered you have a brain, I said, I could fall in love with that. He was like, oh, Tanya, oh, you're so sweet. And we were winding each other up. Nothing of a sexual nature, just stirring each other up as we used to like to do occasionally. I said, I didn't know you would get that. I said, Courtney's a bit intimidated by my bedroom. He leaves at dawn. And he said, oh, really? Because what an idiot. This is an amazing room. He says, I'm so amazed. He said, I need to take a photo. Oh, I beg your pardon? He said, yes, for my friend George in Melbourne. He's Greek. He will love your bedroom too. I went, what? You want to take a photo of my bedroom and send it to some random Greek man I don't even know because he will love my bedroom so much? He said, yes, it's art, Tanya. It's art. And my friend George will just go insane when he sees your bedroom. I don't want to have an affair with your friend George. Don't stir George up. Don't show him things that he cannot participate in and get him all stimulated. And this is how we used to wind each other up. And Pedro was laughing. He went, I really do want a photo of you lying on the bed and I will send it to George. I went, I'm not getting naked, Pedro. He went, oh, no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Tanya. Oh, no, respect. Just you know, dressed, lying on the bed, and I just think it's amazing. So anyway, I did that for him. I fully dressed, laid on top of my bed and struck a pose, and he took a photo of it. And so about a week or two later, I get a phone call from him. Courtney used to get very jealous that Pedro used to call me, but he would just be locked off on either, 4 or 5 bottles of fucking whiskey or on drugs, and he would just and wrap it on, speeding off his dial. And sometimes I would listen to it a little bit, and I'd be like, gotta go, Pedro, I can't deal with this drug-fueled talk, Other times he would be lucid and we'd have quite a nice chat. And Courtney would get insanely jealous about that. And I said, but there's nothing to be jealous of, Courtney. He's off his nut. And we don't have anything sexual between us. We're just friends. We talk. We stir each other up and it's delightful, but we just talk, And even Gail's okay with that because she's heard us, how we two frickin' Slavs winding each other up like ancient frickin' kinsmen or ancestors. I don't know. I don't know what that connection was with him, actually. It was very strange. But we were both Aries. He was an Aries too. But anyway, it was very strange. So, but anyway, having said that, so a week or so later, I get this phone call from Pedro. He says, Tanya, remember I said to you in a video the other day that I get really pissed off if people call me Tan or Tanya. I'm like, anyway, but as soon as I hear his voice, I know it's Pedro. I went, yes, Predrag, which he doesn't like me calling him by his real Serbian name. He goes, Tanya, he repeats. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a fucking long conversation because he's off his nut. I said, what's going on, Predrag? He says, I sent the photo to my friend George. Yeah. Remember George? I told you about George. My Greek friend. This is how he talks, very cyclic. Yes, your Greek friend George that lives in Melbourne. Yeah, you know how I go and see him once or twice a year, and I'm due to see him soon, and blah, blah, and we were discussing my next trip down, and we're so excited about I sometimes wondered if he was bisexual, to be honest. Get so excited. But anyway, never mind. It's not for me to judge. Whatever floats his boat, right? But anyway, Predrag. Even Gail used to wonder if he was bisexual, so I'm not telling tales out of school. It's kind of a running joke between us. So anyway, so he says, yeah, George of Melbourne, Tanya, George of Melbourne. I was like, I need to see this George, what he looks like. I'm now weirded completely out. He goes, well, anyway, Tanya, he says, I sent him the photo of you in your fabulous bedroom. I said, oh, God, he's not jerking off to the photo, is he, Predrag? No, Tanya, no, he's not like that, Tanya. Liar. Big fat liar. your pants are on fire, you big fat liar. But anyway, I wasn't too bothered. I mean, look, if a man's going to jerk off to a photo of me reclining on my bed, then he's a sad ass, and that says more than about him than it says about me, really. And also, I was perfectly, respectably dressed, and there was nothing obscene about it, really. It was just a bit of nonsense and silliness. So he says, George loves your bedroom. He says it's art, and he totally gets it. Ow, Charlie. And he agrees with me, Tanya. We would never leave your bedroom at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. We would just lie there all day looking at all the different things and just enjoy being in your boudoir, Tanya. I said, then in that case, Predrag, George is a worthy friend of yours, and therefore he is kind of by proxy a friend of mine. But don't get any ideas. Don't go giving him my phone number, and don't go setting me up with this George and Melvin, Predrag. I will bash you, Predrag. I know, Tanya. I know you'll beat me within an inch. This is a man who's nearly 7 foot tall, by the way. I know you will beat me within an inch of my life if I disrespect you in that way. He says, but I just wanted to tell you that George gets it about your bedroom and why you're so upset that the only lovers that you have ever brought to your room, he said, did not understand your art or your spirit and weren't worthy of you, Tanya. And I looked at Pedro and said, you're the man, Pedro. You're a good man. I love you. I love you too, Tanya. I actually said Tanya for a change. I love you too, Tanya. I went, okay, I've got to go now because you're babbling too much, Pedro, but thank you for telling me that someone out in the world admires my art and my boudoir and doesn't dishonour my body, mind or spirit or soul, by the way. Wherever you are, Pedro, don't even know if he's still alive, quite frankly. Some of our conversations would start raving feckin' mad, but I do miss you sometimes. If you weren't still with that evil, manipulative, conniving, sociopathic bitch, we'd still be friends, just saying. But, I got to respect the boundary and let you all move on and live your best lives while I move on alone in my boudoir with my little YouTube videos, my little birdie. Oh, you like Mummy's bedroom too. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You don't leave when the birdies go tweet, tweet, tweet. Because you're just waking up at the same time and you're a prisoner of my love and trapped in this house. Oh, what happened? Oh, you saw the crow outside. Okay. So anyway, that's my story there. I don't know how I came to segue to that. Oh, yes. My homeless friend thinking that success is a four-poster bed that no man will abide in. Oh, wow. Baby boys and big boys and men of heart, valour and spirit. What are you doing, Charlie? If you can tolerate the Tanya in all her mad, passionate ways and her wild dance, you will need to also adore and appreciate my boudoir. And there may not be a man created apart from Mad Pedro and his mad friend George that will appreciate that. Certainly not Aussie, oi, 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 mundane, boring, non-creative, non-artistic men. I mean, Courtney even admitted that he thought my bedroom was pretty cool, but he was just more interested to get up at 5 a.m. to go and smoke up on his weed and go to work. He was a workaholic. Work was his god. Working on cars was his god. If he could fuck a car and not have to deal with any women, he would have been doing that all these years. But, it is what it is. So it's kind of a strange anomaly. And some people just are incapable of loving women in holistic, full, vibrant, juicy, honouring ways. And he showed his love in a different way, in a weird way, by keeping my car going on the road for the 5 years I was with him, until my car could no longer get parts and I had to scrap it. So let's be fair, he wasn't a total bastard, but getting his friends to threaten me with samurai swords and telling his mother that he was going to pulverise my face with a knuckle duster, that wasn't cool, And then one time when he said he was going to he didn't actually say it, his friend said it, Skatey said it. The time towards the end of the relationship, when they thought they were going to threaten me with their scariest neo-Nazi friend named Noel. And I just laughed right in his fucking drug-soaked face, which was a very brave thing to do, by the way, given he was not in his right mind and in a very bad, altered state, threatening me. Courtney just looked at him, don't do it, Tanya. Don't do it. I said, oh, you're going to get Noel to kill me, are you? Noel's going to come and kill me. This Jewish girl, this Jewish woman. Noel's going to come and kill. Yes, I'm going to ring him up now, get him over now. He's going to completely pulverise you and, blah, 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 rape you, murder you, blah, blah, blah. Even Courtney's sitting there like, didn't defend me though, the cowardly dog. So I said, oh, no, the neo-Nazi. Yes, I remember Noel. Very nice man, made me a lovely cup of tea, made me welcome in his caravan that he used as a shed for tattooing his clients in, covered in fucking swastikas, which, to be fair, was very confronting for me, given my background and history as both a Jew by choice and a daughter of a survivor of that regime and a stepdaughter of a concentration camp survivor. I'm sitting up there watching Noel tattoo Skatey's arm with some fucking ugly demon and laughing my ass off that he was forever marking himself with an ugly putrescent demon, that one day he will regret that, because I'm a witch and I know all about sympathetic magic babies. Even Noel could see it in my eyes, laughing all the way at that tattoo. I said, are you sure you want that tattoo, Skatey? We were on reasonably good terms at that point in time, early in the relationship with the courtmeister. Are you sure you want to mark your flesh with that, Skatey? Yes, it has to be a demon. It has to be this demon. And even Noel's looking at me going, are you sure you want to go through with that, Noel? I said to him, he said, he's my mate, doing him a solid, which meant he was doing it for free. And it was so insane but kind of delightful. I said, you know what you're doing, don't you, Noel? Magically, what you're putting on him. Yes, he wants it. I said, okay, I'll participate in this. I'll help him bring out his inner demon. So, which I did in a way. I did indeed participate in that. Noel says to me, well, he says, you can help me. He says, you're a cool chick, Tanya, I like you. I said, yeah, you and your fucking Swazis everywhere, you're triggering me, you cunt. He goes, oh, yeah, I know, you're a Jew, aren't you? Yeah, I forgot about that. He says, I've never met a New Zealand Jew before. He said, are you really Jewish, Tanya? I went, I really am, but I'm also broad-minded enough to know that the world is made up of all sorts of people and you don't harm me and I won't be harming you, and that's how it works, baby boys. He's like, oh, you're so cool, Tanya. It was kind of, to be fair, weirdly love at first sight in a way. Had a partner. I don't know how these things happen to me. I really don't. But anyway, so Noel says to me, when you do a tattoo, you make a little outline on stencil paper, like this kind of blue paper, and then you slap it on the arm or whatever body part. It makes the pattern, and then the tattooist goes over it with the needles, with the tattooing needles. He says, tattooing, he says, is just like colouring in, Tanya. He said any child can do the stencil part. I went, I'm not a child, Noel. He goes, no. He goes, but like, you can help me, but just draw the outline for it, and then I'll do the tattooing part. So they were getting stoned, and I was drinking, and I was drawing the outline on the stencil. It was actually really good fun. I actually really enjoyed myself drawing this ugly fucking caricature of a demon. Laughing all the way to Valhalla I was, because actually I thought, what a fucking idiot. But anyway, I drew that, and then when I finished it, I said to Noel, before you put it on Skatey, I said, because this is going to be a permanent mark on his flesh, I've gone over the lines in a few places, and I want you to know where I made boo-boos, because I don't want to fuck up his tattoo and then he'll hate me forever, am I right? And Noel just laughed. He threw his head back and he says, you're so honest, Tanya. You're so truthful. You've got so much integrity. I went, that's me. Never fuck with a Tanya, because I have integrity. And he was like, I really love and admire that about you. I've never met anyone like you. Very rarely. I went, well, there you go. It's how I roll. I'm a trauma survivor, and I stick to my integrity. And if I make a fuck up, like I did when I hooked up with Courtney, which was a major fuck up. But anyway, I have to live with that, live by my choices. And of course I didn't say that to them at the time, because I was still in the throes of passion. But anyway, so Noel looks at me and laughs and laughs and laughs, and he says, don't worry, Tanya, I'm a professional tattooist. He says, I will know when I get to the line where you've gone over and made a little mistake. He said, I will know not to continue that line. And I said, okay, I just, Skatey's crazy and I don't want to get on the wrong side of him. I knew that even back then, right? So Noel laughed and laughed and laughed. He said, I think you'll find, Tanya, overall, he's fairly harmless. His bark is worse than his bite. I said, I know, but if it ever comes to a situation where I'm in danger, it's not going to go good for him, Noel, because I'm a crazier motherfucker than all of you when you threaten me. And even Noel, he just thought that was delightful. He just laughed. He said, oh, you're gorgeous. He turned to me and said, when you break up with Courtney, I'm going to fuck you. But he meant it as a compliment, and as in, I think you're a woman of valour and worth having and fuckable kind of thing. Anyway, Courtney turned his head and went, eh? Because he heard it. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed. It was some weird fucked up dynamic there. Enemy and friend, master slave, although no man is my master, by the way. Don't ever make that mistake of thinking that. It will go very bad for you. Well, not really. I'll just walk away. But anyway, it was some weird thing that that was being played out by my gods, by the Holy One and all manifestations. So he said, yeah, when you break up with Courtney, I will fuck you. And I went, oh, and I just laughed. And Courtney turned his head and went, eh? And looking a bit astonished because he didn't dare confront Noel on it, because they were very, very scared of Noel in a way. So I said, fuck me, Noel. I said, oh, you're so sweet. I'll take that as a very high compliment. He's like, I went, a neo-Nazi offering to fuck this Jewish girl. This Jewish girl who even Jewish men tried to kill and couldn't control, by the way. You're offering to fuck me too? And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and they all laughed along with me. And Noel at the end of that evening said, "You're amazing, Tanya." I said, "I'm broken and rebuilt, Noel. There's nothing amazing about that." Well, there is in a way, I suppose. Anyway, so here's what happened. This other evening towards the end of my relationship with Courtney, when Skatey said to me, "I'm going to ring Noel. He's going to come round right now and he's going to pulverise you. He's going to beat you to a pulp and he's going to kill you." I just laughed and laughed, threw my head back in my weird witchy laughter, and I said, "Really? Really, Skatey? That man loves me. He even offered to fuck me once, didn't he, Courtney?" And Courtney put his head down like this and went, "Oh, yes, yes, he did. I remember that well." And I went, "Wow, Courtney, how's the fuckery working out for you boys right about now?" He's like, "You wouldn't do it, would you, Tanya? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't fuck him if we broke up, would you?" And I just smiled like this, my enigmatic smile. En français, peut-être oui, peut-être non. Maybe yes, maybe no, but in actual fact, of course not. The man had a partner anyway, and no neo-Nazi is going to slather over this Jewish flesh, even though I don't look particularly Jewish, and I've been ostracised and vilified and abused by members of my own Jewish community for decades. No neo-Nazi will take ownership over this body. Just saying. There is a history and it's not okay. It's not okay what went on in the concentration camps. None of that is okay. So it won't be happening. But anyway, how did I segue into that dark horror story that's actually true? I can't remember. Oh yes, a homeless woman. We'll carry on with my readings of even date. We will carry on because yin and yang, light and dark, swirling in infinity. And yes, be very careful who you choose to cross in life, because you don't know the valour of their gods or their spirit. And I've got friends in all sorts of weird vectors of communities that I don't even know how half of them became my friends, really. Just me being courageous, holding my own, as I've always done, even when I was a tiny little girl. Although to hold my own in those days, I had to disassociate and put my spirit into gold curtains and pretend I was dead, which is why I've struggled to stay alive all my life, because I've had to live in death consciousness for longer than most people have been alive. And now the CPAP machine is forcing air into me. I've actually got a big massive bruise coming up there because it's sore, because the mask was, I had to tighten it a bit and it was pressing too hard into my face. So I feel like I've been punched in the face. It's probably why all those old memories about being threatened with Noel the neo-Nazi who was promised that would pulverise my face. There's nothing you can do to me, people of Earth, that hasn't already been done to me since I was a very tiny girl. So don't threaten me with your nincompoops and your neo-Nazis or whatever monster you want to generate from your consciousness. Don't ever fucking threaten me, because I'll just say, bring it on, baby. I've walked through worse hells than this. I've fought through worse hells than that, which is why Noel loved me, because he could see it in my eyes. A fellow survivor, a fellow warrior of trauma, of abuse, knows when we look into each other's eyes, the calibre of our spirit, by the way. Those women at the Holocaust Centre, when I went to, check out the Holocaust Museum, that put the VR thing on me, thinking, very condescending they were towards me in a way. To be honest, I was not happy about that. Not happy at all. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I once sat in a caravan with a neo-Nazi making tattoos together and bonding over tattoos and colouring in and all that magical weirdness. It's got nothing to do with that. They just don't like my Slavic German face or my courage under fire, or having survived 3 Israeli men that were monstrous. Anyway, they put this VR headset on me to watch this horrific virtual reality video of a young girl about to be shot, put into the, thrown into the pits. This happened often in Eastern Europe. And they saw me move like a dance, like a commemoration, as I followed the movie around and confronted the men in their Nazi uniforms as if I was living it. They saw my reaction. Don't ever, ever dare tell me that I'm not a Jew, by the way. I might not maintain the traditions anymore. I may not pray in synagogues or temples anymore because of too many years of abuse. I may not keep kosher. I may not I've even in the last couple of years ceased lighting the Shabbat candles, which I always maintained that. It was the last thing I maintained. But the light of the Holy One remains inside me, whether or not I practice or not. And I express it in rather unusual shamanic ways now that are not easily understood by mainstream people. But the men and the one woman in my 2 favourite bands see that spirit in me come out regularly every Friday, especially when they play certain songs like Zombie or Chop Suey or other songs that are expressing self-determination after coming back from trauma, when I really let it all the emotions out and spiral it out into my wild dance. That is how I'm worshipping my God in all manifestations now. And yes, it's frightening to the uninitiated. It's confronting, but it's also my art. George said he hadn't seen that dreadlocked one in a very long time because he used to constantly throw them in my face. Must be an English thing. George was English too. The English like to nibble at you like little piranha. Nitpick. Push all the little buttons like little tiny electric shocks, and have me then have to recalibrate. And I get some kind of frisson from that. It's a particular English thing I've observed from many English friends over the years. And not necessarily maliciously, but just almost beneath consciousness. Will stir her up. Not realising, you stir me up, baby. I'll stir you up twice as hard, and it will escalate and escalate and escalate till eventually the friendship implodes because there's nothing left to stir up anymore. We've worked off our karma or our petty envies or jealousies or insecurities or spite or whatever started that off will get worked off in the end. Like a catalyst, boiling and frothing off all the negativity and all the dross and all the evil and all the ugliness. In fact, one man I met one day when I had a coffee down at White's Hill, when Amanda still had her little coffee shop there. One man, I don't know how it came about that he said it to me. We're having just a very brief conversation. Elderly man looked at me, he said, I know who you are. Beg your pardon, I said. He said, I know who you are, Tanya, who you are in your spirit. I said, oh, really? Total stranger, didn't know him from Adam. I said, oh, really? Who am I? I said, out of idle curiosity. He said, you, my dear, are a catalyst. People either love you or they hate you because they see something in you that is confronting to them. He said, but you will always be a catalyst. It's who you are. So own it. And I just looked at him. I literally went like this. I had that encounter with that gentleman. I think it was in 2021, only a few years ago. He was right, I'm a catalyst. You either want to enter into my energy meridians and bubble and froth with me in great delight and pure and true and deep and honouring love, or you just fizzle and sizzle and dissipate into the ether out of my life forever. And either way, I'm perfectly okay with that. So, George said he hadn't seen that dreadlock one in a very long time. I smiled. I told him I still loved him, but I haven't seen him either. But I told him I cyber-stalked him just the other day. So it was weird that George mentioned him to me actually, because he'd been on my mind and I hadn't told anyone that because it's embarrassing, a bit foolish. It's no longer on my mind, by the way. It took a lot, but I did eventually get over it. Really only in the past couple of years, but that I wrote that a year ago. So but that man was not worthy of my love or my heart or anything really. Just another shade, just a non-person, empty, soulless zombie NPC trying to get himself through life by using and abusing women and draining them and draining them and draining them and draining. I'm sure whoever he's with is draining now. Maybe she likes being drained, or maybe she's too dumb to realise. But, these types, they find their own level eventually. And that's a good thing. Find your own level, like cures like. I'm up-leveling though. I need a man with heart and soul and passion and devotion and loyalty and faithfulness to me, not those empty vessels that I kept trying to fill and fill to the point where I almost fucking died, by the way. It was never enough for that one. But I must have got curious because here I write, on this day, I was talking to George. I told him, not George in Melbourne, but George, my busker friend outside the casino. But I told him I cyber stalked him just the other day, and he's playing ukulele in a band called No Strings Attached. So the irony of that had me laughing so hard I fell off my couch. No strings attached indeed, the using motherfucker. Those kinds never attach, because they need to drain whatever entity comes into their purview. I said, but he looks real happy, singing and dancing to his ukulele. So good on him. And I was actually quietly annoyed because he never danced when briefly he was with me. Did sing to me once though. It was very sweet. Can't remember what the song was, but he never danced for me, babies. Like that man in my video yesterday, H, that looked down at me at Johnny and went, dance for me. I quite like it when a man dances for me on occasion, or at least dances with me, or does the dance of intimacy with true, as I said, passion and romance and devotion and sweetness and kindness and affection and loyalty and all of those yummy things that I'm still holding out for. Oh, so exciting. I might get it one day. George laughed too. He said, you loved that one a long time. I nodded. It's been over 9 years. Thank God it's over now. Thank you, Goddess, God, and Papa Legbe, who I invite to help protect me from that one. Help me stop pouring beautiful, juicy Tanya energy into someone that was fake and false and feckless. And look at the beauty that surrounds me now. Once I cauterized that fucking drain, my entire world opened up and blossomed like a cascading fountain, the eternal fountain of real, true love, albeit still platonic agape love, but I'm okay with that. It's good, it's healthy, it's soul nourishing, it's protective, as I witnessed again with Juddy on Friday night. Thank you, Juddy. Real men with real heart and real soul are only allowed to be in my, surrounding me now. Real men, good men, kind men, compassionate men, soul nurturing men. And when I take a lover, it's going to be beautiful this time, really beautiful. Someone full expression of his own masculine and divine beauty for me. A man of this earth. And when our bodies commingle in love and delight and passion, it will be a love making that will be whole and joyous and delicious, because hopefully this time it will be the one chosen for me, guided to me and protected and gifted to and for me by the gods. I won't be spending my passions on any lackluster, weak, inept, spiteful little dogs ever again. Anyway, where was I? My fucked up, kintsugi'd heart just won't let go, but I guess it is slowly healing. Yes, she is. Stop pulling your feathers. That's another one you've pulled out. No, Charlie, no. Look at this. Since we've been here, she's pulled out all these feathers. And, you know, they're fairly new feathers that have just unfurled and she's ripping them out. Oh, Charlie, you need to have sex or something. You need a hobby, says the Tanya. No more, no, do not. I'm watching you. Stop that. Where was I? I'm starting to blossom out again, trusting in life and love again, but not trusting in Charlie from not pulling out her feathers. No, I saw that. Oh my goodness. Broken little girls, transmogrified into wild witchy women, trusting in ancient gods and metamorphosed timelines, must wait. Waiting for Godot. No, we're not waiting for Godot. Do you know why we're no longer waiting for Godot? Another one. Naughty. Godot never arrives. He never comes. Literally doesn't come. You're forever waiting. No, I'm not waiting for Godot. Godot has historically let me down. I'm waiting for the king to my queen, the man to my woman, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, with enough mana and couth and grace and honour to choose me, and that I recognise that he is also worthy of me choosing him. Otherwise, anything less than that, it's just going to be another cruel, vapid, empty, spiralling under into death consciousness dance. Can you tell I've only had 2 hours sleep? This was back then. My mind is crystal clear though. I could strike a match off it and smoke it. Smoke on the water. Bring me back my truest, deepest lover man, whomever he is. No, no, I don't want any false ones cycling back. It's bad enough that false one with the dreadlocks cycles around me at December time. It's very fucking confronting, but also a cyclic pattern that's been going on for 9 years, even though we haven't been lovers for, well, it's 10 years now. It'll be 10 years, but we haven't been lovers for 8 of those 10 years, and even then there were only 2 encounters. So hardly a grand passion or a love affair or committed romantic relationship. Fucking psychic vampire he was. Anyway, he wasn't the first psychic vampire, but I'll make damn fucking sure that he was and is and always shall be the last. That's why I locked everything down. No more inviting men into my life who weren't genuine, authentic or sincere or loving or kind or honouring of my mind, body and spirit and soul. Yes, my Jewish soul and my ancestral witchy ways and my mana gifted me by the gods. It's complicated, people. It's complicated. It's why there may never be a man born or created in this current paradigm that can take me on as a partner, because it's too complicated. They don't have the intelligence to comprehend even a scrap of who I am. As I said to my friend Scott recently, I wasn't flirting, I meant it. I meant it quite honestly and heartfelt. If I can find a man with intelligence and couth and grace and honour, but a man with intelligence who actually gets who I am as a woman, as a spirit, as a soul, that would be the biggest fucking aphrodisiac of all. Seriously. That's why I was actually, as I said earlier, stirring Pedro up for understanding and valuing the artistry of my bedroom. A man with intelligence. It's very stimulating for me, very stimulating. But I'm not enacting it. I'm not enacting it unless it's someone who's available to me as well. Because, let's be fair, I've been through enough grief and traumas and disappointments over mortal men. Each day I curate my memories and writings into my vocal media in a feedback loop, gifting my insights or experiences or heart to an audience that rarely reads my stuff. Trauma writing is hefty going, yes it is. Takes a lot out of me. I'm actually starting to feel dizzy and weak already, but we're good. We're an hour and a half in, and I can do this. I'm a powerful spirit, and I own my own truth and my own power, mana. So here I write, it's another epic, pointless waste of time. Yet I persist. If only ever one person reads my material garnered over decades and gets something beautiful or courageous or heartfelt from it, then my life has had some purpose after all. I wrote, P.S. Show me the money. And the reason I did a little recoil there was Juddy on Friday said someone should pay me, for helping out with the band, which is, just a joke because it's nothing to move a few cases over and dance for the band because I would do it anyway. I enjoy dancing. But anyway, he said someone should pay me, and I jokingly replied, show me the money, honey. It was a joke between us, just a bit of, as I said, innocent repartee. But here it is, a few days later. P.S. Show me the money. Wow. Money is an energy. It makes beautiful things grow, babies. If you spread it very fine, cultivate beautiful gardens like manure, money is like that. Wax on, wax off. Focus it into those of you with the ultimate potentiates that they haven't even recognized yet, and watch them bloom, babies. Here I posted a meme. Letting toxic people go is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-care indeed. My friend Jane wrote, it finally occurred to me that I had to leave. Even after I left, he would call me and threaten suicide. He would ask me to come back. When I drove out of town, I saw his truck in front of me with a girl sitting right next to him. He turned and I floored it and went straight 115 miles to my new home. I felt so free. Why didn't I do this before? ? Those kinds of manipulative bastards. They really are low-life entities and dogs, by the way. I have on occasion threatened suicide, not to keep a man, not to be a low-life entity dog like that, but because, the grief would overwhelm me. I have done that. I admit I've done that in my time. I've even enacted on it. But don't use it as a weapon against someone you proclaim to love. Don't ever do that. That's not fucking cool. And I'm glad my friend drove 115 miles to get away from that particular cunt. I replied, gaining freedom and mastery over the psychopath is a long, arduous process. Be patient with the girl that abided too long because she didn't know any different. Glad you are safe and happy and loved now. That is all that matters. She wrote back, Tanya, you are an amazing old soul. And I replied, that I am, but also seriously fucked up. But hey, all that pernicious, evil fuckery created me out of the multiple hells and high waters. So to be honest, I am more than a little proud of myself. Thank you for the compliment, for seeing me and understanding my walk anyway. Only those who've walked through that fire can truly achieve that. God's bless. And I was also thinking at that point in time, and I'm reminded of it now, she was more courageous than I. When I left my husband with all the viciousness and the first strangulation, I should have done exactly the same thing. Put my kids and my dog in the car. He gave away my dog on me, by the way, the cunt. And just floored it. Gone anywhere out of the state. He probably would have accused me of kidnapping and being vicious, but I should have just gone to the other side of this planet if necessary, and my children and I would have been safer and perhaps had a better life. But I was a coward. I stayed around for the sake of my kids, for the sake of them having family. What family? Toxic monsters was all that surrounded us. It's why I don't have my children in my life anymore. They've grown up and realised the price we all paid as a family of women was too high. So they've shed me like a cast-off, dirty old skin. And you know what? I can't fault them for that, you know. I couldn't provide them with stability or money or a home of their own as their grandfather provided for me. I've failed them in every aspect. It wasn't all my fault. I was just merely surviving bastards, but I did in real terms fail them. I should have taken a leaf out of Jane's book and just fucked off and kept fucking off and never looked back. And I had the offer when I got taken up to the PA hospital having a breakdown, almost a year after that separation. A Irish psych nurse said to me, why don't you just go home, gather up your kids and your cats and run away with me to Sydney. In the course of him interviewing me on all the reasons why I was having a massive breakdown and why I'd been brought there to that hospital to be interviewed, he understood what it was that I was breaking down over. Decades and decades of the most abject, ghastly fucking horror, including child sexual abuse as a child. He understood that I needed to just run and keep running. But I'm a woman of honour and integrity. And he, in the course of interviewing me, had told me that he'd not long before had a baby with his wife, and he would come home from work and she would be crying in the corner, blubbering, hysterical, exhausted, and that he didn't cope, so he'd left her. But he wanted to run away with me, the wild woman, the courageous one who was still trying to hold my family together against all odds, provide us some kind of safety against all odds, which I failed at. But I was trying back in those days very, very hard, under constant attack, by the way. So I said to him, I said, don't be ridiculous. You're a psychiatric nurse. You see women crying and hysterical all day long in your work. He said, that's why I couldn't take it, going home to my wife, and she's also broken down. I said, you're a Catholic. He was a Catholic. He told me about his Catholic mother not being happy about him separating from his wife. I said, you're a Catholic. Have you no shame? You're a psych nurse. Have you no shame? Offering to run away with little old me to Sydney, a woman you've just met, don't even know. What are you running away from? I said, be a man. Go home to your wife tonight and apologise. What, he says? You owe her an apology. Don't be a coward. You chose that woman. You gave her a baby. That child is here now. Maybe you're not in love anymore, or maybe things have got a little bit too cray-cray even for you. I said, but you need to stand as a man of integrity and honour by that choice, that woman with her little baby. But she's hysterical all the time. I went, well, she won't be hysterical if you stand up and man up and be a father and a husband, will she? His whole face caved in. He just looked at me like, you're right, he said. You're right. I have been a coward. I said, go home and give her a long, passionate kiss from the Tanya. So he walked me to the cab rank because the hospital had given me a chit to go home because they'd realised I wasn't crazy at all and was just emotionally breaking down from all the trauma that compiled to my inner shaman emanated, which is frightening to the uninitiated, as I said earlier. And misunderstood as being crazy, by the way. So anyway, he walked me to that cab rank and said, run away with me to Sydney. Still not quite letting go of this fantasy about me that he developed during a 4-hour interview. Said, I'm very, very tempted. I need a loving man who treats me with kindness and honour and integrity. I said, I need it so much I can chew on it and taste it. But I said, no, you need to go home and treat your wife with honour and respect and kindness and be a father. And if then it still doesn't work, then it's okay to walk away. But you don't walk away from a woman with a newborn who's hysterical and crying. I said, every mother that ever gave birth is hysterical and crying at the end of the day and overwhelmed from hours and hours of a screaming child and nappies and trying to keep the housework under control and try to hold it all together. And then you men come home. I said, I can imagine you come home tired from dealing with crazy people. I said, I can see the picture. And it was just one thing too many. But I said, your wife is your priority and your child, not your feckin' job. By the way, he said, you're right, Tanya. And then he waved me off, happy little lad. And I went off in my taxi to pick up my cat that had been left. One of my cats had been left behind in the unit complex, to drive to my mother, to rejoin my children and my other cat, And I did not want to be in that position of going back to my mother because she was a monster. Just precipitated the breakdown. But I had no choice. It was that or be homeless with my children on the street somewhere. And I feared homelessness worse than that monstrosity of a mother I had. So there is that. But anyway, every now and then on my walk, I have done a very kind thing for a person I don't even know, which was the wife of that psychiatric nurse, by the way. And I don't know the end of that story. Hope he did go home and man up and be a father and a husband to her. I hope he had some strength in him, make his Catholic mother proud and make his one-time Jewish acquaintance, potential patient, proud. Oh, you have to laugh. Life is weird. Life is truly weird. I think I am coming down with a cold. My nose is all funny. Ah, the joys of CPAP machines. It's just ridiculous. I know. Mummy slept 9 hours last night though. 9 hours of extra oxygen. My skin's puffing up and I feel swollen here and sore, but it'll do. My brain will recalibrate and get used to having extra oxygen through the night. Just got to fight my way through like I fought through everything else in life. Here I write, posted a cartoon. It was a memory that I'd posted in 2015. This antidepressant works best if you take it with water lapping near your hammock on a Caribbean beach. It's true, isn't it? It's true. I had a lovely day even though I only slept for 2 hours last night. I had a visit from Margot, the children, and Rosie. Then in the afternoon, Evie gave me this lovely picture she drew of our little spellcasting session yesterday. The manifestation was for money, hence the symbols of money. So cute. They were really obsessed about being witches, which I knew they'll grow out of. You know, they won't remember when they're older. But anyway, it's all very cute. Evie told me she wants to be a spellcaster when she grows up. I laughed and told her she already is one, as she did that yesterday. The children explored my garden and gathered flowers and herbs for their very own witch's potion. They were so happy. It was delightful. I shall cherish this little drawing as it was such a sweet memory. Also, magic happens, and never underestimate the magic of sweet, innocent children and their powerful, mutual Celtic ancestors that love us. The Andersons have Scottish and Irish lineage, like mine. Little Evie asked me if I received money yet, and I explained it can take 3 weeks, 3 months, or even 3 years for a spell to work, so patience is a virtue. She nodded sagely. I told her the highest form of magic was her loving, heartfelt intentions for me, and I am so grateful and honoured by that. Dear sweet little girl. Here's a little drawing. The little drawing she made for me. She even drew Beauregard barking. Unfortunately, he passed away not long after that, but He's their dog, Rosie. My business cards have just arrived. Do you want to see them, my business cards? Let's go get them. We'll go together and get them, shall we? People of Earth, friends, family, associates, supporters, motivators, encouragers, inspirers of the Tanya. You have to have a little giggle. Here's my kumquat tree in full fruit. Have to harvest that soon. Got one of my friends really loves kumquats, so I might even gift them to her. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know, Charlie. Oh, Bobo's in heaven, darling. You're missing him terribly the last few weeks. You've been saying his name over and over again. Bobo. Bobo. Well, Bobo can't come back from where he is, Charlie. It's only he could come in another incarnation, maybe as another puppy. But Mama's heart's not in it to get any more dogs. It's been too cruel and evil and sadistic. I can't ever put myself through that again, I don't think. Here's Bobo. My friend Jared made this beautiful picture of him dressed up as a Viking, standing on the rocks by the sea, waiting for his mama. I know. Oh, that big mess of poo that she did behind my head. Right, we're going to clean that. We're going to clean the poo. Very tired today, even though I slept, according to the machine, 9 hours. The machine was running for 9 hours, but I didn't sleep that well last night, actually. I was constantly coming to full arousal and consciousness, and constantly 3 times had to get up to pee, and I feel quite wrung out. I might even go back to bed when I finish this video, to be honest. I'm not coping. I need a hug and $20 million and a long cuddle with a man who adores me. And none of those things are likely to happen today. So we just have to crawl back into bed and sleep it off. Oh, you want cuddles and kisses? It's almost like she understands when I said I need a hug and $20 million. You gonna give Mummy a huggy and $20 million, Charlie? I hope I shape up all right tomorrow, because I've got to wake up early. I've got a telehealth appointment with my urologist. And then I've got to go and get my hair done, which takes about 3.5 hours. So I hope I don't feel too wrung out tomorrow, because it's going to be hard for me. I love my hairdresser, we're friends, but if I'm not well, it can be a bit of a strain on me. Now, why can't I open this feckin' box? How hard can it be? Oh. Fuck's sake. Why do they make it so hard to get into? Why? Look, honestly, Mama T can't do things anymore. I'm getting old. I'm getting weak, I'm getting vulnerable. I don't like it one little bit. We'll just get a sharp knife and we'll just slice it open. Try not to slice my arm open in the process. Right, yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. These were made for me by my beautiful handsome, talented friend. Oh, come on. Out you come. Now we've got to cut open another piece of packaging. Okay, here we go. Just sit you up here for a moment. This is going to be a two-hander. Which means all the cards are going to go flying everywhere. Right. $20 off at checkout for the next, I guess the next order they mean. But here they are. Here it is. Designed by, let's get into the light. Designed by my friend Jared Nielsen, my handsome, talented friend. I'm very happy about that. Very happy indeed. Right. So you know what this means, people of Earth. I've got to go down. I've got to buy distilled water from somewhere. I'm having trouble finding it anywhere. It's driving me nuts. You can get demineralised water, but not distilled water. But I've got to find it somewhere urgently. Today, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe tomorrow when I'm out between going to the hairdresser or something. I might do them. Anyway, mumble. And I've got to clean all my, jewellery that I have wanting to sell that's already prepared for selling. And I'm going to go down and take my business cards. And I'm going to go down, I'm going to see those lovely young women in that witchy crystal shop. Take my jewellery down, pay the rent up front, and put my jewellery on display. But I've got to clean it first. And it's all happening in a far out way. It's all happening in a far out way. I guess I can do that on Wednesday. If I can get the distilled water somewhere later today or tomorrow, then I can have it all ready to go. Wednesday in the shop, maybe if the gods bless me accordingly, some of it might start selling, and that would be wonderful. That would really be wonderful. Certainly would help my self-esteem if my stuff started to sell. I could make more stuff and get into the flow, and that would be wonderful. But I won't get too excited about that because the economy is very bad at the moment and people aren't buying. So, but even just having it on display will be lovely. So where were we? Ah, yes, where were we? Jude Downs from Gateway to Inner Alchemy wrote, "There's a spark of the divine in all of us, and right now it's trying to catch our attention. What's distracting you away from your path? Look for the spark. It's lighting the way. With love, Jude." And I replied, "I am well lit these days. Gratitude to the gods and the ancestors that truly love me and always have my back and front." Indeed they do. 8th of July 2022, 9:09 a.m. Awful memories today. Last year we were fast losing our much beloved socks. I was put through the most surreal, sadistic ordeal by the Mount Gravatt vets and the RSPCA. At least the RSPCA inspector rang me the following day to apologise. That was something. A year later, my health is still very poor. The grief of losing socks has eased, but the trauma of that day has not quite left me. It has put me off taking any more pets into my care, as our society is so venal, using COVID as an excuse for sadistic pathologies of hellish contortions. Same thing happened again when Bobo died last year on the 1st of August. Which is ironic, as I did not even have COVID. Still haven't had it. Well, I did eventually catch it in October 2023 last year, but anyway. Despite my fragile young lungs and poor health, sighs. It's a lovely day this morning. I will get out of bed and enjoy the day and think happy thoughts of when Socks was still alive and the world was a slightly better place. I wish I could heal this paradigm, but I guess it will start with me healing my own self and holding on to my remaining beloveds and loving my life in all the weird and magical ways that makes my continued presence on this earth a worthy one. 8th of July 2021, 8:25 a.m. Back in bed. I dropped off Socks' urine sample at the vet's first thing this morning. They will call me with the results. I feel very weak today, so will try to stay in bed and stay calm. Walking felt like I was moving through thick mud, which means I don't have enough oxygen. So I'm better off staying warm in my bed and getting plenty of rest. This is just another storm the Tanya Tempest, part of me, will have to sail through. Just another illness. It's getting ridiculous. Months of diarrhea and now a bad cold on top of it. At least the diarrhea has stopped in the past week. The colonoscopy on the 26th of July. I should have written, I'm due for a colonoscopy on the 26th of July. So the previous evening will be epic shittiness. Yuck. I need to buy the Movacal for the long prep. This too shall pass. I had a very happy week and a half, so life can be remarkably good, even with my physicality and health issues. My psychiatrist has booked me in for 4th of August, so he is back from his medical leave. Things will get back to normal. Life is, well, life. I received a phone call at 5:52 p.m. from the vet. Socks will need euthanizing as he has confirmed diabetes. I am devastated. They said they were closed tonight, so I need to take him to the RSPCA or Animal Welfare League. I googled them. They are also both closed. The vet wants $290.95 to euthanize him. I wonder why they waited until almost 6 p.m. to give me this news. I dropped the urine sample off at 8:15 a.m. and now they tell me it's so urgent to euthanize him, like really playing head fucks they were, the evil dirty bastards. What the fuck is this mercenary psychological bullshit? I want to know. But they offered to come pick him up as they know I'm sick at the moment, or meet me in the car park, so that's nice, I suppose. And they didn't come and pick him up. I had to go there and wait in the car park. Get this. They made me wait the entire next day. Made my cat suffer when he was supposed to be in need of urgent euthanasia. And again waited till the end of the day, about 5 p.m, which was just evil. Same thing was done to me with Beauregard. Waited till the end of the day. It's just evil to do that to my pets and me. Cause that much distress and leave my animals languishing in pain, by the way. I will take action tomorrow. Nothing I can do right now. Here I write, so this surreal horror keeps getting worse. I just rang the RSPCA to book socks in for euthanasia at 3 p.m. tomorrow. The woman on the phone takes down my details, then tells me they won't accept him unless I can prove he's my cat. I said, here's my foster cat. The receipts from the vet yesterday would have gone to Sally. So the smart-ass cuntish thing says, any photos then? I screamed at her, is this some kind of a joke? Fuck you. RSPCA, mercenary bastards like most vets. Vile. Of course I have photos and videos. I've had him in my care for 7 years. In a crisis, they want to push me to the edge. Update. I received this text from RSPCA, so this is my response. Hi Tanya, we have tried to call but we're unable to reach you. Could you please call us back tonight on 3426 9999 to discuss socks, which I spelled incorrectly, but we won't worry about that. If we do not hear from you, this is very threatening, by the way. If we do not hear from you, we will need to refer the matter to our inspectorate team. Thank you, RSPCA, Queensland. This was after I hung up on that evil little dirty little bitch working there at that point in time. I wrote back, fuck off, you sadistic, mercenary bastards. In the midst of your perverse horror, when I called to arrange euthanization, I have organised with my friend to negotiate to get treatment for his diabetes if it's not too late, which it was. But how very dare you threaten me with an inspector? I will make this public on Facebook. You will never get a donation again. I have been a responsible owner and foster owner all my life. At Kellyanne, I have reached the point where my fuck off mode and CPTSD, Tourette's language, is getting a bit florid, my love. But I do get discriminated against when they hear my pronounced New Zealand accent, so I'm used to this abuse and should not be, as it's unacceptable. It's especially unconscionable as the woman could hear I am genuinely sick as I was giving her my details between bouts of epic coughing. But anyway, thank God that happened, as we might be able to save my boy. So all good. Kellyanne wrote back, please take care of you too, especially right now. You are a fabulous woman who deserves to be given a fair go from other people and organisations and society at large. At the very least, I sincerely hope they do choose to fuck right off and leave you alone. You don't need this. I really didn't. It was sadistic and evil what they put me through when I was already grieving, or in the process of grieving, letting go of my beautiful cat. Me, cat at Kellyanne, hugs. It's okay. I have genuinely good people in my life. And as for the rest of those monsters, pfft. Kellyanne wrote, I'm sorry the bastards are harassing you. You should mention that they are gaslighting you too. They do get into a bit of that, you know. Assholes. I wrote back, I have not made this a public post yet. Too sick at heart and physically sick to go to war on their venal heads. I did not answer their call as Sally was on a call with me to discuss treatment options for socks. So hopefully tomorrow morning we can put this current nightmare to bed and save socks for a few more years. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. Kellyanne wrote, oh my God, what a bloody nightmare. The RSPCA are just interested in self-marketing and profiting off people's well-intended naiveness about the level of good they actually do for the community. Yeah, best to hold off though. Life's much better without lawyers and police calling around to protect their beloved, useless, favourite, unnecessary, discriminatory causes. And I stand by my truth, and as I said, I did receive an apology from the RSPCA inspector the following day when I was languishing, waiting to put socks to sleep with those awful, evil, sadistic, money-grubbing vets, by the way. Kellyanne, I had to fight them when my neighbour had neglected and then basically tortured his sheep when it got mauled by dogs. I was traumatised for 2 months later. I only contacted them as I thought it was the last resort. Glad we have a more beneficial outcome. Tomorrow we shall know what is best for Socks. And she wrote back, let me know, wish I could physically be there for you. And no, once again, I went through all that alone, fighting on my own for my pets. But when it came to the euthanisation, my beautiful friend Sally, who was in New Zealand at that time, sent her daughter Rachel to be there with Socks because the vet wouldn't let me in because they were convinced I had COVID. And there was no logic to that because I'd been coughing and spluttering everywhere, but they were okay with Rachel bringing the cat in to be euthanised. If I'd had COVID, she would have also been a carrier of COVID. No logic. These were vets, professionals, scientists. So it really was just discrimination against me based on nothing at all, since I didn't even have COVID. The motherfuckers. It's another place I hope blows up or burns down, by the way. I know they've changed their name now, they're calling it something else, but it's the same bastards that own it. Trust me on that one. You can change your name 1,000 times, but I know the calibre of your souls. Me, 9th of July 2022, at Brechy Tit. He was a very strong boy. Unfortunately, he crossed the Rainbow Bridge this evening. 2 years ago tomorrow. A quick and peaceful passing. I am grateful for that. Brechy wrote, I'm so sorry, that's so sad, but agree, a quick passing is a relieving thought and makes it easier to accept. He's peeing over the clouds now. Maybe his spirit will be around for a while. A very big hug for you. And I replied, all day was a dark, grey, misty day, but towards the late afternoon, the sun came out. I took it as a sign that heaven was opening the gates for him. He will be at peace now, safe with all the other beautiful spirits that blessed our lives. And just a tiny bit over 2 years later, it was 23 years, 2 years later, we lost Beauregard as well. And I'm still not over the viciousness that happened with his death at the Animal Welfare League. I will never get over it. I will never forgive either of those organisations, by the way, ever. Ever, 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 as long as I draw breath. And breath, as you can see, is an optional extra for me these days. I mean, you have to laugh. 8th of July 2020. I had a weird epiphany last night around 2 a.m. as I was still not sleeping. I realised I lived my entire childhood, adolescence, under constant threat. Threats of rape, molestation, beatings, terror. Fears of not being worthy of love or respect or even basic safety. which made me want to be a mother, to give myself a loving family and be the person in someone's life that I never really had on my own. But even that was robbed from me by my familial abusers. Also, the latter abusers I invited into my body and my soul. Fuck them all. So last night I flashed back to how my beaten down growing child's form around the age of 11 started walking strangely, pigeon-toed, with a hunched over back to shrink myself to avoid the constant slaps around my head and face. Something told me, my higher self, my angel, Tanya, no matter what or who comes your way, and there are bastards everywhere, you straighten up those feet, walk slowly on the earth, walk in dignity, walk in pride, but point those toes straight ahead. Look every person you meet right in the eye. Tall, short, good, bad, ugly, false or true, you look at 'em. They will hate you anyway, or love you according to their own spirit or capricious whims, but you stand straight and tall, short ass, but that's okay. Those creeps wanted you dead. They wanted you broken, beaten, tormented, and debased. Even in recent years, our vets. There's nothing you can do about that. Not as a child, not as a woman, but you can walk on your own feet and turn them facing the distance and follow your path, strong and true and proud. He's looking at you, babies. And if you die, you die. And if you live, well, there are many things worse than dying, but even these you will overcome in time, decades, eons. The right people will see you, will love you, and if not agape love, they will protect you and honour you and gift you another kind of life. I'm starting to see it now, babies. I'm starting to see my new kind of life surrounded by my musician friends and the people in the clubs. It's a pity that this only really started to really blossom out after we lost Beauregard. But it is what it is. Perhaps Beauregard was the ultimate sacrifice and took all that evil from my former life with him. I didn't want him to be a sacrifice though. I wanted my doggy with me to this day. My beautiful one. It's freaking me out quite a bit that Charlie in recent weeks is constantly saying Bobo, which is one of his names. So here I am, Hineni, alive, happy, in love with my life. The franchise of death failed to kill me. We know who they are. Valhalla is calling me, warriors and Valkyries. Valkyries, I think it's pronounced. What am I going to do about this sore throat? Maybe I should gargle salt water or something. It's not cool, man. It's probably the part that closes up It's even swollen, isn't it? And red with the sleep apnea. They're killing me with their treatments. I told them it wouldn't be good for me. And yet here I persevere. Because either way, no matter what, no matter when, no matter how, I'm destined to die like every other mortal on this planet. So they're forcing air into me, holding on to me when I don't want to be held trapped in a hell loop anymore. Look at what I've presented to you today. Hell loop after hell loop after hell loop, including the death of my pets, when all I ever wanted was a true, loyal, faithful, nurturing, kind love. And I've had to provide that for myself over and over again because I couldn't trust in mortals. Ultimately, can't trust in them. And here it is now, it's raining. Rain is good for the garden though. I won't resent the rain. Rain all you like, babies. They keep a place in the dining hall for me, the warriors and the Valkyries. They feed me sweet mead, the ambrosia I drink in my sleep that heals me and gifts me another day each day, a miraculous, glorious, love-filled day. And often now, most of the night too. I will not live my life in fear. I will rise and shine in my own hard-won divinity and rejoice. They took my money, homes, terrorized me, my children, and my pets, raped our souls and our hearts, but we carved new ones out of the shitfuckery and the hate we grew up and over, alive in the psychedelic dreaming, beautiful. P.S. I wrote this morning. Oddly, it got played out this afternoon. I walked Charlie and Bobo. A man at the end of the street called out to me to say hello. I commented to him that it was a glorious day and we are blessed to be alive. He replied, yes, because there are assholes everywhere. And grinned at me. I grinned back, opened my arms wide, did a little hobbit stomp. Yes, of course, we are surrounded by them. Everywhere we go, giggled. But there are a few rare birds too. He said he loves my bird, and if he ran away and landed at his house, he would keep him. I frowned and wrinkled my nose. Aight, but if that's the case, I would have to kill you. We both laughed. He said, my dog is an asshole because he's small. I said, nah, it's because he has PTSD from being beaten up at the dog park as a puppy. So now he thinks he has to kill every dog he sees. It's a pain in the ass, but I get it. I said, he is funny though, as he approaches other dogs, wagging his tail, looking all friendly, lures them into a false sense of security, then attacks them. The guy said, he's a sniper. I said, oh, yes, a sniper. Yes, I hadn't thought about it that way. He said that he delivers white goods and it's always the little dogs that are the most aggressive. I laughed and said, yes, because when you are small, you have to act tougher than everyone else. Otherwise, you're a goner. And did my little stomp again. Nice guy, actually. He and his wife own a staffy, which Bobo detests with a passion. So weird thing is, it's a very weird conversation to be having, by the way, very triggering. So I continue on. So the weird thing is, I go to get groceries at Coles at Greenslopes. I'm trying to park my car, but some guy with tattoos is yelling at his wife, and she gets out of the car and sort of glares at me. But I'm driving, pardon me, my goodness. But I'm driving in, and his car door is in my way. So he sees my look of consternation and shuts his door. I park, but look up to see him yelling at me through his shut door. So I piss blood. Little one, little short hobbit one with her complex PTSD, paraphrasing the conversation earlier about snipers. So I piss blood because all I did was need to park my car, not engage with his bullshit. So through my glass window of my car, I mouth, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Just settle down." I'm ready to go to war if I have to, but was hoping to avoid it as I have no weapons in my car apart from my heavy handbag. But he looks at my face, which instantly changed colour, and I am told my eyes change colour too when I am about to go berserk. He goes sort of pale, starts shaking, nods to me. I nod back. Then he drives forwards into another car park in behind me. I'm like, what the fuck? I get out of my car, grab my bag, start walking towards the shops. He's following behind his wife, still yelling. Another man sees it all. I said, just another maniac, probably speeding off his dial, but I'm worried about the woman. The guy agrees they had been fighting, but he does not want to get involved. Anyway, I see them both again in Coles. I step up to the woman and ask if she is okay. If not, I will call someone. She's been crying, but she stolidly tells me she is okay. And I said, "Are you sure?" She says, "Yeah." Fuck, I think. This is how women wind up dead. Full-blown denial. But her man sees me and does not try to start another fight with me. Which is odd, don't you think, since he was brutalising his own woman. So he must have recognised that blood in my eye. Fellow trauma survivor, even though he was being an arsehole in that moment, knew not to fuck with the Tanya. And they both leave. And all I can think is how amazing it was that he didn't attack me in the car park and backed off like a long dog when I told him to settle down. Looks like my angel put the fear of God into him, as he was quite scared of me. Bullies and cowards. Fear good, powerful women who have survived more monsters than they could even dream about in their worst nightmares. I came home a bit rattled, but have eaten well and have kept up typing. Grr. How long is this story going to go on for, dear Goddess? Quite a lot, quite a lot. So I'm going to stop here at 2 hours, 29 minutes and 40 seconds. And we're going to go into part 2 because it's too long to take all this in one go, in one hit. And I won't take a break, I'll continue, but I just want to break up these videos a bit. So, big agape love to my witnesses and followers and even my enemies with Schadenfreude, fuck you. But to the rest of you, big agape love. I'll be back with part 2 momentarily. Bye for now.